Tonight, record numbers.
It points to an economy that really is rebounding.
Job gains Canadians haven't seen in a lifetime. So why can't the Liberals get traction?
If it went on for years, it'd be devastating.
Canadian farmers pay the price as the chill with China deepens.
And spoiling the ending in the age of streaming. Maybe it's a good thing. The pop panel will take it on. This is The National. Economists expected a blip. They got a supernova. Monthly job numbers released today weren't just good, they were unprecedented. According to Statscan, 106,500 jobs were created in the month of April alone. That's about 10 times the forecast. And for a single month jump, that's basically the biggest we've seen since 1976, when Canada started tracking that number in earnest. The unemployment rate ticked down to 5.7%, touching lows also not seen since the 1970s. For economists, it's almost too good to be true. And yes, jobs data can be deceptive. But this report shows strength in multiple provinces and multiple sectors, too broad to ignore. And as Vicadopia explains, some of the biggest winners, at least on paper, are young.
And so begins the search for that first big job. Like most graduates fresh out of college, hopes are high, and so's the angst.
What are we going to do next? Or everyone's just trying to build their portfolio.
Prospects for job hunters under 25 haven't been this good since Statscan started tracking the numbers. Youth unemployment dropped to its lowest level in 4 decades. A lot of the jobs are in construction, as well as the retail and wholesale sectors. But Wendy Lawton studied security and law enforcement.
I'm trying to drive away from retail, but it's like that's all I can get right now. Because we're students, part-time, stuff like that, so it's very hard.
Driving that job growth, wages are up, so that's pushing consumer demand. So are low interest rates. People's household finances are still strong despite debt. Immigration continues to stimulate the economy and jobs.
It is very hard to poke any holes in it. It points to an economy that really is rebounding.
This economist says the expectations were low for 2019, yet Canada has added more jobs in the first 4 months of this year than it did all of last year.
About half the jobs created in April were jobs for youth under 25, and so it's almost certainly the case that a decent share of those are students who are coming out of school and into the workforce, and they're being met with some strong demand for their skills.
Still, for young people, it was mostly part-time work, and those who help youth find work say flexibility and resilience are needed.
A lot of the employment is still precarious, a lot of part-time, and even the full-time stats, some of that is contract work, meaning obviously there's a defined end date.
Those record-breaking April job numbers could be revised downward. They're just a snapshot. But for young people entering the job market, it's an encouraging picture. Vicadopia, CBC News, Toronto.
Now, in an election year, good job numbers are great news for a sitting government, usually. But so far, the Trudeau government stock isn't exactly rising with the job market. And as Salima Shipji shows us, it's not for a lack of trying.
In an area hit by the downturn, with a cabinet minister who may lose his seat this fall, the Prime Minister was keen to play up the positive.
But let me start off right off the bat by highlighting massive new numbers released by Statscan just this morning. In April, Canadians created over 100,000 jobs.
Setting up a political choice for Canadians.
Think about that. These results wouldn't have been possible under austerity measures.
A song on repeat from the Liberals back in Ottawa, too.
We had a plan for Canadians to help real Canadians. Today's job numbers show that that plan is working.
In Stephen Harper's last year, they celebrated 72,000 jobs in 1 year, 106 jobs in 1,000 jobs in 1 month. That's independent advice they should listen to and take note of.
A standing ovation on his side of the aisle. scorn on the other.
It's evident that the jobs they're talking about had nothing to do with Vice Admiral Norman because they cared nothing about his job.
The Norman case dropped by prosecutors this week and the SNC-Lavalin affair, both hurting the government and drowning out all else. After months of trying to tout positive economic news, the Prime Minister can't seem to get past the damage to his personal brand.
They've been so off message and so off their game and so bedeviled really by scandals, arguably of their own making over the last several months, that they have lost time. They have things to talk about. They just need to be able to cut through the noise.
She says there is time for Trudeau and the Liberals to recover and bring the focus back to the economy before the election, but it's not a surefire win. The Conservatives would be all too delighted to have a debate on the carbon tax and tap into economic anxiety. Salima Shivji, CBC News, Ottawa.
The potent mix of politics and jobs is also boiling over south of the border. Donald Trump says he's protecting jobs by lashing out at China. Late last night, he made good on a threat to more than double the tariffs on billions of dollars worth of Chinese imports. But as Keith Bogue shows us, there's reason to be skeptical.
Chinese trade negotiators left Washington this afternoon, apparently with little more to show for their 48-hour trip halfway around the world than a barrage of tweets from the president. Tariffs will make our country much stronger, not weaker, said one tweet. Another falsely claimed that tariffs are now being paid to the United States by China of 25% on $250 billion worth of goods and products. These massive payments go directly to the Treasury of the U.S. The payments do go to the U.S. Treasury, but they come from U.S. taxpayers, not the Chinese. And U.S. taxpayers could pay even more.
And then if the president goes ahead and does what he says he wants to do for the next step, which is basically put a 25% tariff tax on every other good coming in from China, then that will absolutely go to the pocketbooks of Americans.
An expanded trade war could cost 1 million American jobs by some estimates. It didn't have to be this way, says the former U.S. trade representative who negotiated NAFTA. If the U.S. had joined the Trans-Pacific Partnership, it wouldn't be fighting China on its own right now, and China would have more reason to fall into line with international trade rules.
I think that we could have gotten a better deal with more diplomacy rather than tariffs. Tariffs are really not a tool of trade. They cost us more jobs than they ever create.
And Andrew, Trump is also getting set to bail out U.S. farmers hit by retaliatory tariffs from China. He tweeted today that the U.S. will buy up farm products in larger amounts than China ever did and just give it away to poor countries.
Right, but where does he get the money for that?
Well, from the tariffs, of course, but we know that's not true. American taxpayers will pay to buy product from American farmers and then give it away. It's one reason it's said that no one ever wins a trade war.
Keith Bogue in Washington, thanks so much. Okay, so Canadians may be wondering, are these good times or bad times? I mean, that trade dispute is a ticking time bomb, but Canada's dynamite job numbers suggest the economy is in high gear. Well, Peter Armstrong breaks down that question into 3 easy parts.
It's easy to cheer the job numbers or fear the trade uncertainty, but as ever, it's a bit more complicated than that. By any measure, an economy is rife with contradictions. Today's stunning jump in jobs tells us one story, but persistent, slow growth tells us another. The Canadian economy will grow this year at a mere 1.2%.
The reality is probably somewhere between the dark picture painted by the lack of economic growth we saw in the fourth and likely first quarter, and these very buoyant hiring numbers that seem out of line with the lack of any production to show for all those jobs.
The new U.S. tariffs are sweeping and broad, hitting more than $200 billion worth of imports. The Chinese response, so far at least, has been far more targeted. China slapped tariffs on U.S. soybeans. A map of soybean production is like a heat map of Trump support in the last election. Any significant increase in the tariff war is sure to slow global consumption. The fallout would hit everyone, everywhere. Meanwhile, Canada remains decidedly stuck between the two superpowers. From canola shipments to Canadians detained in China, this country has a growing list of concerns. And according to at least one report, Canadian officials in China can't even get their calls returned.
Canada could certainly keep pressing China to try to get talks going on some of the frictions we have, but clearly a resolution between China and the U.S. would cool the overall temperature between North America and China and help us out.
So, contradictions abound. It's hard to fault Canadian consumers who feel stuck in someone else's fight, worried, even on a day with such positive economic news, about how bad things may still get. Peter Armstrong, CBC News, Toronto.
Okay, and let's turn to another story, a heartbreaking one out of Metro Vancouver tonight.
A tragedy, Andrew, that may serve as a warning for parents and caregivers as we head into the summer months. A 16-month-old boy died after being left alone in a hot vehicle. It happened yesterday in Burnaby, just outside of Vancouver. Greg Rasmussen has the details.
It's a case that's shaken the community and first responders.
It's tragic. It's horrible. There's no words to describe what anybody would be feeling right now. Any of the first responders who attended, anybody at the hospital who attended, any of the family members. It's absolutely tragic.
Police won't say why the child was left in the car, but implied it might have been accidental.
Regardless of fatigue, regardless of how many things you have on the go in your world at any given point, the child is the focus of your attention and your care until they are put into the care and attention of another individual.
This photo from the scene shows the response that failed to save the baby boy. In the neighborhood, shock.
And I was told that the child was left in the car for several hours. Oh my goodness.
Temperatures yesterday were breaking records. In Burnaby, where the child was found, they were in their 20s. That heat magnified inside a parked car.
This doctor says children are especially vulnerable.
A child's body surface area is much smaller than an adult's, so through perspiration they can't drop their body temperature as fast as an adult could.
Sadly, there have been other cases, including a year ago in Burlington, Ontario, the grieving father of a 3-year-old convicted but given an absolute discharge. In this case, authorities are only saying the investigation continues. Greg Rasmussen, CBC News, Vancouver.
No arrests have been made in this case. Police say the toddler's father was at the scene, and both parents are cooperating with the investigation. The BC Coroner's Service is also looking into what happened. Now to the fallout from 2 bombshell reports released yesterday about money laundering in British Columbia. And the problem doesn't stop at the BC border. Today, the Prime Minister promised action.
The extent to which money laundering has not just taken money out of the Canadian economy, of BC's economy, but has actively hurt British Columbians with the disruptions to the housing market and others, is something that absolutely needs to be countered.
But consider this. Canada recorded just 316 money laundering convictions between 2000 and 2016. The UK reported more than 1,400 in a single year. Experts say it's clear Canada can and should be doing much more. That starts with improved transparency around ownership. As Laura Lynch explains, right now, following the money trail is very difficult.
Stuart Bonner is hoping to make a sale. This compact 2-bedroom is on the market for just shy of $1 million.
But if you have any questions, let me know.
Bonner's seen thousands of house hunters come and go over the 4 decades he's been a real estate agent. And lately, he's seen the effects of money laundering.
I mean, when you get a couple of years of 20% increases in price point, that's like, what's driving that?
2 reports out of BC yesterday answered that question, concluding $7 billion worth of dirty money helped drive up the price of housing in Vancouver by at least 5% last year alone. But the criminals have been creative in other ways. The report says money is also being washed through purchases of luxury boats, college tuition, cars, grand pianos, even fishing quotas. Recent money laundering arrests in Toronto and Montreal support the report's conclusion that Ontario, Alberta, and the other prairie provinces face even worse problems.
Money launderers will always go where the weakest gap is.
This analyst agrees there's a nationwide problem. He's urging a coordinated response.
British Columbia is sounding the alarm for the federal government and the rest of the provinces to get on board with this, and they really need to listen.
This is a real and pressing problem for Canadians, and it's a problem around the world that Canada is going to continue to lead in the fight against.
Ottawa earmarked more money to crack down on money laundering in this year's budget. But critics say what's needed is more transparency about just who owns what, and Canada is far from a world leader on that front. It's all left Stuart Bonner frustrated.
Everybody's not bad. There's a small percentage of bad that is tainting the whole thing.
And as BC shines a spotlight on the problem here, money launderers will likely shift their attention to other Canadian markets. Laura Lynch, CBC News, Vancouver.
We're keeping watch on a rescue operation taking place just south of Vancouver to free 2 gray whales. The whales were found beached in South Delta. That's about a 40-minute drive from downtown Vancouver. They are still alive, and officials are on scene with flotation devices and a vessel to help get those whales back into the water. A crowd has gathered to watch the rescue efforts, but officials are warning people to stay back about at least 100 meters.
Check this out.
You may remember this video of a car driving with its doors open on an Ontario highway. Well, police say the widely reported video led an officer to identify the car as one that was involved in a series of break-and-enters. $3,000 worth of bulk steel was stolen in the Hamilton area. 2 people have been arrested and they have been charged. And turning now to a frightening incident that could have been a disaster at Canada's largest airport, a truck carrying aviation fuel colliding with a plane early this morning. The Jazz Dash 8 was taxiing towards a gate when the fuel truck slammed into it. Our Greg Ross met some of the people who were on board.
But everyone's like, we got to get out, like now.
Paul Fronczak describes the scene inside the cabin of Air Canada Express Flight 8615, moments after it was struck by a fuel tanker early this morning on a runway at Toronto's Pearson International Airport.
We started to smell aviation fuel, and that's when panic started.
Fronczak says the frightening incident punctuated an already long and frustrating night for passengers. But once they finally did leave, bad weather soon forced them to turn around.
Fog was extremely thick, and then the pilot decided we've got to go back.
And just seconds after touching down, exasperation gave way to fear when it became clear something wasn't right.
I looked out, and a large vehicle was barreling. It appeared parallel to us, but suddenly, bang, it hit the front of the aircraft. Through the aircraft in one direction, it spun to the opposite, and then it looks like either the front or the rear of it hit the back of the airplane.
A spokesperson for Jazz Aviation confirmed that 5 people on board were injured, 3 crew and 2 passengers. In a statement, they said all had been taken to hospital for assessment and released. Ken Webster, with the Transportation Safety Board of Canada, is investigating the crash. He says the damage to the plane was extensive.
So there's a large dent, if you will, on the front left part of the aircraft. The propeller is heavily damaged from the impact with the tanker, and the back of the aircraft as well, where the cargo door is actually extensively damaged.
The airline did offer to send passengers to Sudbury on later flights, but after the ordeal, some took a pass, like Kylie Wright, who talked to us while driving instead.
I had concerns for my safety, so I elected not to take the flight.
According to police, the driver of the tanker truck has been charged with dangerous driving under the Aviation Act. The company that he works for is also investigating the incident. Greg Ross, CBC News, Toronto.
Okay, ahead tonight, the Pop panel looks at spoilers and why much of that rage and anxiety is big business at work.
And the music world is finally turning a profit in the age of streaming, but what about songwriters?
And tonight's moment, the wow heard around the world.
The house is pin drop quiet. And then out of the air, somewhere from behind me, way up above, comes this little boy's voice.
It is Canadian Music Week in Toronto. Robbie Robertson will get this year's Lifetime Achievement Award. Now, after a rocky decade, the industry has something else to celebrate. Last year, global music sales exceeded $25 billion Canadian, slowly bouncing back to the earnings back in 2007. That's before online streaming became popular. But almost half of last year's earnings came from streaming revenue. That's the good news. The bad news is the bulk of streaming royalties go to record labels and superstar performers like Ariana Grande and Drake. while the people who write the songs, well, they're largely shut out. But as Deanna Sumanak-Johnson tells us, there's a move to change that.
Linda Perry knows the power of a song from her own to the hits she wrote for others like Christina Aguilera. You are beautiful, no matter what they say. So Perry started her own label, focused on artists who write their own music.
We nurture and develop our artists. We put time into them. We help them make good decisions.
I'd like to bring also creating buzz at Canadian Music Week, Canadian-born Merck Mercuriadis, manager to funk legend Nile Rodgers, who's also worked with big names like Elton John and Guns N' Roses.
Nile and I didn't believe that the songwriter was being recognized properly in today's era.
He thinks the answer is raising the stock of songwriters, literally.
Proven hit songs are predictable and reliable, and therefore as investable as gold or oil.
Mercuriadis' Hypnosis Song Fund is like a stock fund of songs. It's actually listed on the London Stock Exchange. They buy the rights to the music and lyrics of songs from songwriters at a high price. That's the benefit to songwriters in the short term. Get this, $23 million for the song catalog of Terius Nash, known as The Dream, the man behind mega hits like Rihanna's Umbrella and Justin Bieber's Baby. Then the fund manages these songs to make money for not only the investors, but in the long term for musicians too.
And we can say to the streaming services, well, if you want our stuff, this is a fair price. This is what we believe fair market value is.
Dave Stewart from the Eurythmics thinks there's another way to help fellow songwriters by making the public aware of just how much they do.
Without a song, you've got nothing.
Stewart's created a talent show for NBC where it's the songwriting chops, not big vocals, that are on display.
You don't know where it's coming from? Man, you know it when you hear it.
What I'd like for the TV audience to get is, oh, people write songs. And it's not 10 people trying to write a hi-hat pattern and a hit or whatever. It's actually, this person just came out and sang a song, and she actually wrote that and played it and sang it.
All of this to help the next generation of songwriters realize their sweet dreams. Deanna Sumanak-Johnson, CBC News, Toronto.
And up next on The National, The Avengers, Game of Thrones, spoil the plot and you'll likely lose some friends. The Pop panel is here to talk about how much secret keeping is too much. And don't worry, we'll do it spoiler-free. Promise.
Spoil the endgame. Don't do it.
That clip was part of the Marvel studio campaign against spoilers. They had to put it out to stop people, terrible, terrible people, from going on the internet and ruining it for everyone.
Whether it's the new Avengers movie, the latest Game of Thrones, or last night's Drag Race episode, you have less time to watch things before people start talking, and talking loudly, about what just happened.
Is it rude to talk about the weekend's biggest movie on social media when you know that some of your followers haven't seen it yet? And is it fair to ask people not to weigh in? I'm Stacey Lee Kong, freelance writer and editor.
I'm Anthony Oliveira, film curator and comic book author.
I'm Donovan Bennett, host and staff writer for Sportsnet. My question is, how did we even reach this all-time low where we have to educate people about spoilers? The whole point of enjoying popular culture is to avoid moments like this.
Wow, what an ending! Who'd have thought Darth Vader was Luke Skywalker's father?
Ah, thank you! Oh, thank you, Mr. Blow the Picture for me.
So what's the deal? Is everyone on the internet just supposed to indulge in spoiler paranoia? Or is the solution a little bit simpler? I mean, you could just stay off Twitter.
As a creator, I'm sympathetic to not wanting your surprise ruined, but once it's out in the world, it's out of your hands.
Okay, so we are, to start, going to be as upfront about all of this as we possibly can. In this conversation about spoilers, there will be no spoilers, right? So if, for example, I were to say Arya Stark actually is a we have a very smart, very quick team of people who can protect all of you. But we are going to steer clear of spoilers all the same. So we will not reveal that Captain America is actually. We're clear, everyone? Okay. Okay, everyone, I figure, falls into one of three camps. Either you hate spoilers, you actually don't mind them, maybe you even seek them out, or you just don't care. You're sort of indifferent. Stacey, where do you?
I don't mind them, and I do seek them out sometimes, like 100%.
Okay, Anthony?
I think that we have to make a space for having a public conversation after a screening or after an event happens, and I think we're over-policing those spoilers.
Okay, Donovan.
Yeah, spoiler alert. I actually don't fall in one of those camps, because not only do I hate spoilers, I hate people who make spoilers, who seek them out as well. I'm an equal opportunity hater. And PSA, and I'm going to talk right to camera too, if you seek a spoiler, you lack control and human decency.
Oh my
Wow.
That was a lot.
Okay, so let's start by riling Donovan up a little more. NFL running back LaShawn McCoy, so he's with the Buffalo Bills. He tweeted this spoiler about Avengers Endgame.
They could have used Hulk.
But why they know? He's the best one. He's smart, intelligent, cool, and everything.
Yo,
I'm done with Avengers.
It wasn't him.
So before he says too much, the backlash to that video was swift. He was crucified online. There's even a petition of hundreds of signatures calling for his NFL contract to be terminated, for Twitter to delete his account, and for him to have a lifetime ban from ever seeing another Marvel movie, which, okay, so granted, it's not going to happen. Donovan, why does this get you so angry?
Well, I mean, not that level angry. Like, Bills fans, you have bigger fish to fry at this point. But it gets me so angry because of the times that we're in. This is different. We're not in the 80s or the 70s where you were expected to synchronize your viewing with everyone else, watch at the same time, and everyone found out who shot JR. Everyone found out that Ross and Rachel were on a break. See what I did there? I didn't actually spoil what happened. I just spoke to it, right? Because I have great discipline. But now, people binge at different times. We have mass media, huge audiences. The information comes out so quick because of the internet. So the social construct has to change for us to be able to enjoy pop culture the same way.
And I mean, Stacey, even though you fall kind of on the other end of the spectrum, you must see where Donovan's
I do.
coming from, right?
I see where you're coming from. I support you.
But
I think you're being so much, but I think that it's actually impossible to change. This is the way the world works in 2019, right? Like, I think it is very natural after you watch a movie. I wouldn't have done that.
Post the video
was a lot.
Sure, yeah.
A lot. But after you see a movie and you are so caught up in what happens, it's very natural to want to go and be like, guys, what do you think of this? I'm so mad about this. My heart is broken. And I think it's also very natural in 2019 to do that on social media.
But it doesn't. You don't feel like it ruins the experience when you seek out.
Well, it doesn't ruin the experience for me. I don't care at all.
yeah, you don't care because you're selfish. But other people who haven't seen it, they do care.
Look,
and listen, before Twitter, you didn't have a speaker box on your phone to run and talk about what happened in Avengers or Game of Thrones. So why do you have to do it now?
You don't.
Okay, wait. Anthony, I have to give you a chance to wait.
I can't believe
you're actually a content creator, right? Like
Yes.
you have a comic book coming out.
Yeah, I've
How
got an
would you
Avengers
feel if-
comic coming out.
How would you feel if someone spoiled the ending?
I would, that's, okay, it depends what you mean by spoilers. This is the thing. If someone leaks the story before it comes out and posts it online, I would be furious.
Correct.
But once it's out, I think part of the joy of these texts is the cultural discussion. Like, after Avengers Weekend, we're all going to talk about the spoilers. As soon as the Game of Thrones episode's over, everyone wants to tweet about it. Everyone wants to, like, that shared communal viewing experience when you talk about who shot JR and, like, who shot Mr. Burns, that's part of the pleasure of these texts. And if you just say, well, you can't talk about it for 10 years after a movie comes out, like, what's the point?
Yeah.
I'm just sitting in my room watching Netflix.
By
That's fun.
yourself.
Yeah.
That's not how we have
And Donovan, I mean, aren't we putting a bit too much emphasis on the ending of the film, right? Because I mean, or whatever you're watching. I mean, isn't the journey of it unfolding isn't that worth more?
It's not just about the ending, because some great documentaries, there's some great plot lines in them that even if you know how it ended, right? I know that the Fire Festival wasn't a success. Spoiler alert. Ja Rule, not a great party planner. But there's some key details in that film about how maybe they secured some water that if I spoiled for people, didn't do it, it would ruin the viewing experience. So I do think that keeping the film sacred or the movie sacred is important.
So, and Stacey, help me understand your point of view, because, I mean, just to Donovan's point, I mean, you only get to experience, you know, a work of art for the first time once. And so why do you feel so at ease just kind of reading up the plot summary on Wikipedia and then going to see the
Because there are so many things to watch. There are so many things. There's no way that you could experience all of the things that there are to experience for the first time. So, I think there's like the tyranny of must-see TV, or you have to watch this, where I'm like, yeah, I do, but I don't have enough hours in the day. So for me, it's like a nice strategy to be able to take part in that same, I love those cultural conversations. I'm not trying to say that I think that everyone needs to know everything at all times, and so you should also enjoy spoilers. I'm just saying they don't bother me.
And sorry, go ahead. Anne.
Well, that also speaks to one of the other functions of a spoiler, is sort of to help people not just cope with a text, but know if they're going to be challenged by a text. Like there's also a simple capitalist thing, like, do I want to give this thing my money if I know that it's going to have content that I find troubling or alarming or even just interesting or marginalizing, right? Or triggering, right? Like sometimes people need content warnings. Like managing horror movies is a big part of this for a lot of people. Like I know so many people who read the end of a horror movie so they know how much to be stressed as they go through the film.
But what you're describing is a trailer. Right? You get something to decide if you want to invest more time, not a spoiler. And my empathy is not just for people who it's spoiled for, but it's the content creators, because they spend so much time thinking of the conflict resolution, the plot, thinking of the nuances throughout the story. And if that is ruined because you've read a spoiler or been told the ending, then their work is being perceived differently than when they originally made it.
And just so we're all clear, I mean, how do we even define a spoiler, right? So if I tell you, hey, if you go and see Avengers Endgame, I'll be careful. But if I tell you the ending is crazy, I won't spoil it for you, though. Is that a spoil? Did I just spoil something for you?
No, I think that's an endorsement.
Okay.
That's marketing.
So that doesn't ruin it for you. Okay.
But I think sometimes spoilers are marketing. And I would even say that sometimes the campaign, the idea of keeping spoilers hush-hush, that's marketing too.
Well, case in point. So can we roll that, the social media campaign again? So this was from the official Avengers Twitter account, the actual cast of the movie, imploring people, for the love of God,
don't spoil the endgame. Don't do it. Don't spoil the endgame. I'm watching you. Don't spoil the endgame. I'm watching you. Seriously. Don't spoil the endgame.
So it's all very meta, but it does, to your point, it kind of makes you think, right? Like for all the obsessing and the hand-wringing that we're doing over spoilers, we all know who's really cashing in at the end of the day in the hype machine.
I will admit, I didn't want to disappoint Chris Evans. I didn't. I did it, but I felt a little bad about it. No, I'm joking. I didn't feel bad about it at all, because really, that's what this is. This is all, whether you decide to spoil something, whether you decide to spoil yourself, it's all just a hype machine to get us to go see a movie.
Well, that's so interesting to me, because especially with this, not just the Don't Spoil the Endgame campaign, but the subsequent discussion, like the Russos, the directors of the Avengers, put a spoiler embargo out where they said, okay, now we can talk about it.
Right.
And they did that simply because the Spider-Man trailer was about to drop and spoil everything from the movie. So it's fascinating to me watching the way marketing and hype is migrating the conversation about who decides what's a spoiler, but into the hands of creators, but also the companies that own these products, right?
Well, the interesting thing is the creators didn't even trust the actors. Other than Robert Downey Jr., many of the text was redacted because they couldn't trust the professionals to be professional and not spoil things in the culture that we live in.
I want to give everyone a chance. Let's do a quick go around just for fun. What's the worst thing that's been spoiled for you? And given your point of view, maybe you spoiled it for yourself.
So I will say, I can't think of a single thing that has been spoiled for me that upset me. I can think of one exception. What would have upset me, I think, is when I was reading Game of Thrones to know what happened in the Red Wedding. I think I would have been upset, because it really would have altered the power of that scene. So I get where Donovan is coming from, even though Donovan never gets where I'm coming from.
Donovan, worst thing that's been spoiled for you?
Jinx, and the ending of Jinx was spoiled for me because of the news coverage about what that ending meant. See, I'm
very delicate.
I'm afraid to even. I've said too much already.
Anthony.
The worst thing that was ever spoiled for me was in high school. My best friend was obsessed with spoilers, and he would read them ahead of time. And he said 3 words about the series finale of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh, no.
That before it aired, that ruined my favorite show for me, and I still have like traumatic flashbacks.
I've had both the ending to Avengers Endgame and all of the latest episodes from season 8 Game of Thrones all spoiled for me because I do this bloody panel. I have to read up on everything.
We appreciate your sacrifice.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Up next on The National, they are caught in the middle with billions of dollars on the line. Canadian canola farmers show us how they are paying for Canada's dispute with China.
It's really hard to look at this and predict when it will smooth over.
What if it's years?
Yeah, I mean, I think farmers should brace themselves for the potential for this to be years in the making.
First, though, a look at what you'll see here on Sunday night. Rosie sits down with NBA Commissioner Adam Silver. They talk about race, equality, and 25 years of NBA basketball in Canada.
I think in retrospect, I wish we had a team in Vancouver right now. I think that we do have regret. I think we were a bit ahead of our time. I think there was a moment in the league where prospects seemed down in terms of the team. Attendance was down, ratings were down. So I understood from an economic standpoint why the then team owner wanted to move the team. And unfortunately, we're not in expansion mode right now. But sure, over time, I mean, given the development of the sport in Canada, there's no doubt that at some point we'll look to see whether there's an opportunity to put a second team in the country. There's no doubt that, based on what we're seeing now in terms of the interest, that we could sustain it in Canada.
What started as a joyous celebration ended with disappointment for executives and investors as Uber made its long-awaited debut on the New York Stock Exchange. The company closed short of its initial offering price of $45 US, finishing the day at $41.70. That translates to a loss of hundreds of millions of dollars in value for the tech giant. Turning now to Canada-China relations and how a simple crop plays into a complicated dynamic of trade, tension, and retribution. Few Canadians probably give much thought to canola, but as the single biggest Canadian export to China, it is hugely important, worth billions of dollars involving tens of thousands of jobs. Much of that now in limbo. In a move widely seen as retaliation for Canada's arrest of a powerful Chinese tech billionaire, China closed its markets to two of Canada's largest canola producers back in March. The impact on farmers has been harsh. Our David Common looks at how they're coping.
So what are you putting in this year?
This year we're putting in AAC Brandon wheat.
So wheat, not canola.
No canola this year, no canola 2019.
For as long as Tobin Dick has farmed, canola has been his crop. But he'd already decided against it this planting season.
Which now seems like the right decision, but like we've talked,
given what's going on?
Given what's going on and...
What's going on has little to do with farmers like Tobin. A diplomatic dispute that's pushed its way into trade with canola's biggest buyer, China.
There we go.
Yeah, it's
a little tight. It's snug. Farmers are business owners. Now imagine any other business where tens of thousands in revenue just disappears without warning. As it drags on, the worry is increasingly, this could be long-term.
It's really hard to look at this and predict when it will smooth over.
What if it's years?
Yeah, I mean, I think farmers should brace themselves for the potential for this to be years in the making. China's a big, giant player, and China is a giant wild card. We don't know the information that comes out of China, so it's difficult to put a game plan together.
There is good reason to worry. Canola is big, big business. The harvest worth billions. Except now, that biggest customer, China, is blocking canola. Likely over Canada's arrest of Huawei executive Meng Wanzhou, now in extradition proceedings that could last years. If China reciprocates and doesn't buy canola throughout that entire judicial process, boy, it's going to be a problem. Here's why. Canada grows a whopping 23 million acres of canola a year, mostly on the prairies, so much that it's grown over an area larger than New Brunswick. China normally buys 40% of all of it. Now, they're not buying any of it, and so the price farmers get for the crop is collapsing.
So that's it. That's your canola.
This is it.
So you normally would sell canola by the bushel. If you had sold this last fall when you harvested it, before all this trade war, how much would you have got?
I could have secured a contract for June to August pickup of this canola for $13.25 per bushel.
And if you sold it today, now that we're in this trade war?
I'd have to go check the contract, but I'm pretty sure it's around $11.50.
So you've taken a hit?
Taking a hit.
Just a $2 difference multiplied by the 100,000 or more bushels in farmers' bins, and an individual could be out 200 grand. So farmers are now planting 1.5 million fewer acres, more than the size of PEI, all changed to another crop. And if it drags past this fall, expect that to shift even more.
Hey, what would that mean going on for years?
If it went on for years, it'd be devastating. Oh, there you go. It's right there.
You got a lot betting on that one seed.
You got that right.
Yeah.
Jack Fries has traveled to China several times representing Canada's canola farmers. As they try to find new countries to now buy Canada's canola, he knows nothing can make up for big China.
You can lose money for a year or two, but after that, doesn't work. You got to be profitable.
Yeah, you get in trouble quickly.
Very much so.
U.S. farmers already know that. China largely stopped buying their soybeans a year ago. A $12 billion market just gone in a dispute over all trade between the two countries. But as talks to resolve that dispute continue, a resolution between the U.S. and China could be especially bad for Canada, says food policy professor Sylvain Charlebois.
We may actually see things escalate even further. If China signs a trade deal with the United States, as an example, tariffs may drop between the two countries, which could make some American commodities more attractive to China, which means they could actually implement more embargoes against Canada. And I can see lobster being affected, for example, fish and seafood.
As more trade uncertainty swirls, it's hard to predict the future.
I don't want to complain. That's just what we face right now. We face a very volatile, unknown in global trade, such that we've never experienced before.
All this over an issue that may have nothing to do with agriculture. But farmers are certainly caught in it anyway. David Coleman, CBC News, Winkler, Manitoba.
And next on The National, our moment is the moment that wowed one little boy.
They went to the symphony and he was engrossed in the music. He loved the music, and the wow just came out spontaneously.
Attending a symphony can be a wonderful experience. The crescendo, the swell of the music, leaving an audience breathless. But for one young boy, it did even more than that. Ronan Matten attended a Boston Symphony with his grandfather this weekend. Now, Ronan is mostly nonverbal, but it turns out he had something to say when the music stopped, and his moment of awe is our moment.
The house is pin drop quiet. And then out of the air, somewhere from behind me, comes this little boy's voice who just says, wow.
He was engrossed in the music. He loved the music, and the wow just came out spontaneously. And it's a huge deal for him because he doesn't express himself verbally very much. He's pretty much nonverbal. They're real people too. You know, he was out in the real world. He was not at a concert that was specifically for autism families.
The fact that a 9-year-old boy in the moment spontaneously responds like that just said to me, okay, we're good. Music is music. It speaks to everyone.
Ian, when I was in school, I spent 5 years playing in a concert band, and so I know firsthand how powerful that moment at the end of a piece when the conductor holds his baton there, the musicians don't move a muscle, that silence can be the most powerful moment of the entire piece. And if you're gonna break that silence, you better have something worthwhile to say. And he did, so that was wonderful.
I, on the other hand, spent 3 or 4 years in a marching band, so I don't know that moment at all. It was just lots of noise all over the place. But, you know, music speaks to all of us, I suppose, and it is amazing how it can reach so many people in so many ways. It is a very beautiful story, and I love the way that the symphony reached out to him. They emailed everybody in the audience until they found out who that little boy was.
Yep.
That is The National for May 10th. Good night.
Good night.